Transporting mobs in Minecraft has always been a little bit of a tedious process. Whether you're transporting something like a peaceful villager or something a little more challenging like an Elder Guardian, it's going to be a little bit of a handful. So today we've come up with a contraption that will make that process a little bit easier. I present to you the fully AFK mob transport. There are a few different ways that you can use this contraption, but we will take a look at those in just a few moments. Let's first take a look at how to build the basics. The blueprint for this particular build is not too complicated, it is pretty small, and speaking of small, the item list is not too extensive either. All you're going to need is a comparator, a repeater, a handful of redstone dust and levers, one button, a dispenser, 3 hoppers, 7 powered rails, 1 activator rail, 3 regular rails, and a handful of random blocks, plus a piece of sand and 1 piece of cactus. And of course, you're going to need minecarts. The first part of our build is not in any way related to redstone circuitry, it is just a bunch of solid blocks. But these solid blocks hold more importance than you realize. Not every single one of them has to be solid, but for the sake of uniformity in the build, we're going to make them all solid except for this one, because nothing really goes there. There will be rails on quite a few of these blocks, so glass will just not do. We need a solid block to power a rail. Now that we've got that out of the way, we're ready to start the redstone circuit by placing a dispenser right here in this corner between these 2 blocks. This dispenser is going to place the cart on the rail and send it on its way. Next, we need a retrieval system, so we're going to put a hopper coming out of the back of that dispenser with 2 more hoppers facing into that one. These 2 hoppers right here are pretty redundant. They're not absolutely necessary, but for the sake of being safe, just in case the minecart shoots backwards a little bit, we want to be able to catch it, pick it up, and throw it back into the system. Another important factor about this thing being fully AFK is that we don't want to have to press a button on this dispenser every time we want to launch a minecart. So we need some sort of circuit that will trigger an automatic release. And that circuit starts with a comparator facing outwards from this hopper, which will detect a signal every time an item passes through. That signal will then go into 1 solid block and on into a repeater on the other side. The important thing about this repeater is that you cannot have it on 1 or 2 ticks. It has to be on 3 or 4, or this system will break. Basically, the hoppers do not move items quick enough into the dispenser at 1 or 2 ticks in order to avoid locking this hopper and shutting the whole thing down. So 3 or 4 ticks, you're safe. The rest of this circuit is pretty simple with 5 pieces of redstone dust that go back into this dispenser, so that when a returning minecart comes into the system and fires off this signal, it will automatically launch a brand new minecart. So how do we actually get a minecart that has been used to be recycled back into the system for future use? Well, it's actually pretty simple. All you need is 1 piece of sand and a cactus, and then when the minecart rolls on up, it'll hit that cactus, break, and fall down into one of these hoppers. So this redstone circuit is nice and all, but it doesn't actually work without any kind of rail system to get it there. So let's start out by placing a couple of blocks right here, followed by 2 powered rails. Then we need 1 powered rail right here to elevate this one. Then we can break that one and place a solid block right there. Then from here on out, this design is actually pretty adaptable. We're going to go ahead and build the smallest footprint possible, and then I'll show you some applications for it here in just a few moments. So we're going to take an activator rail and place it next in line, which will take the minecart and shake it on up, tossing the mob to the right of the forward moving direction. Then we can place another powered rail right here, followed by a regular rail because these are the only rails that curve around corners. Then we can take another powered rail here, followed by a regular rail, and then powered rails from here on out. None of this will actually work yet because these rails are not actually powered, so we need to go ahead and take care of that. So we'll go ahead and break this piece of glass and put a lever here and activate it. Now these 2 rails are powered. This activator rail needs some power as well, so we'll go ahead and do this all the way around until we have all of these rails powered. Before this thing is fully operational, there's only one thing left to do. We need to place down some barrier blocks just to be sure that none of our minecarts go flying any which way. You just gotta be careful because you cannot place solid blocks next to a cactus or it's gonna break. The only thing left to do now is to load up this dispenser with minecarts plop a button on it to get it initially activated, and we are ready to roll. And as you can see, the minecarts are cycling around the system. When it hits that activator rail, you see the little minecart shake, doing a little dance on up into the cactus and plopping back into the system and recycling, ready to go. Now, you don't exactly need 9 minecarts in here, but I've loaded up 9 just in case we happen to lose one. It doesn't happen very often, but it is possible for a minecart to hit that cactus on the way back into the hopper and kind of destroy itself. So just in case that happens, we've got more than enough minecarts in here to last us a while. Villagers can be one of the most annoying mobs in the game to try to transport to places because they can sometimes be less than cooperative. So if you happen to have a villager breeding system with a holding chamber similar to this, where they get flushed into the corner with a water source block, you'll be able to pick them up with a minecart. Then, once they hit this activator rail, well, let's just test it out. Goodbye! Have a good journey! Into the great beyond you go. We wouldn't actually do this with villagers in a survival world. We'd transport them to somewhere like a villager trading hall or a farm of some sort or an iron farm. There are multiple uses for villagers, but in order to transport mass quantities at once like this without having to do anything is just absolutely brilliant. Watch them go. Go, 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 go. The second option we have today is to be able to transport mobs through the Nether. This is often a thing you do when mobs are far away, or you find specific mobs that are specific to the Nether, like the Zoglin. This would have been great for Prowl and I earlier in Season 2 of Truly Bedrock when we were trying to transport a bunch of Zoglins through the Nether for our iron farm. Let's just check it out and watch them go. All you gotta do is plop a minecart in there and it sends them on into the Nether. Easy. You don't have to mess with trying to hit the minecart. You don't have to mess with accidentally hitting the mob. This thing is fully automated and pretty amazing to use. It's also pretty simple to build. Huge shout out today to Mr. Nogri himself. He is one of my followers on Twitch, subscribers on YouTube, and one of my patrons on Patreon. Getting pretty active in the community lately, and is the person who suggested that we try to find a way to easily break a minecart and send mobs through the Nether while having a recyclable system. So huge shout out to Nogri. Thank you so much for that idea, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if you're going to be building this in your own Minecraft worlds. Leave a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic day.